Welcome to 1111, which is a segment for my podcast where I talk about a topic for 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Today's topic is nostalgia. Now, nostalgia is it's when you're homesick and when you're missing old friends or when you're missing, old experiences that you constantly think of. Um, I I've been experiencing a lot of nostalgia lately. I've been very I've just been very not very sad, but I've just been very lonely lately, and that's caused me to reflect a lot on my on on my pictures. Like I've been seeing myself scroll through a lot of pictures lately, and it's caused me to have a lot of nostalgia. And I don't know if that's affecting my moods or my energy, but I haven't been really sad. I've just been really focused on the past lately, and I feel like that's what nostalgia is. It's when when you miss your old friends, or when you miss people, or when you miss experiences that you've had. And I think talking about it is going to help me and help hopefully you understand that nostalgia is good, but we can't always just be in the past. I like to see my life as this constant uphill and downhill as well. So we're gonna have some good times like we did maybe last year or a couple years ago or whatever, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have any good times this year, or next year. So always being like focused on the past, it's like, well, I don't think that's gonna get us anywhere. I don't think that's gonna get me anywhere. I mean, yes, it is nice to reminisce and look at old times and be like, wow, this was fun. I really enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun here. But it's also healthy to be like, you know what? Let's focus on the future, or let's focus on the present. I like to be very present. I like to feel the moment and feel what I'm currently feeling. But I also enjoy romanticizing the future because I love that. But I'm gonna burp. Sorry, I'm sorry. um but I also think it's very nice to be able to romanticize your present. Romanticize your next 5 seconds of life, or your next 20 minutes, or your next 20 days. I don't think you necessarily have to always romanticize in the future. And I feel like that's what nostalgia is always being, sad and missing someone. I feel like in life we're always going to miss someone, so we really can't always have to focus on who we're missing at the moment. But I always, for example, I really miss summer. I think it's because of the weather. It's been snowing a lot here, and it's been very cloudy and gloomy, and I think that does affect my energy. I don't know why it affects my energy, because I've been lately what I've been telling myself is that the sun is still there. It's just cloudy. It's the sun is still shining. So I have to, not let it affect my mood as much. Um but what's making me sad is I miss summer. I miss the activities I did in summer last year. And I think it also goes down with, my friends. I haven't hung out with my friends in a long time. So I think both of those go, it just kind of hit me all at once. So I've just been a little bit sad about that. But I started fixing it by creating a summer playlist. So whenever I hang out with my friends, I'm gonna have this really cool summer playlist. And I think that's really helped me, be in a better mood. I've created this summer playlist with really, really cool songs that I can see myself as really driving down in like Sunset, or like in Boulder, or in like California, or whatever, just hanging out and like having a blast. So that's kind of lifted my mood. It's kind of made me be hopeful for this summer and be hopeful for future activities. I've also been sad about not hanging out with my friends lately, and just missing the old times. But that just makes me a lot more happy when I do get to see them. It makes me be more appreciative, and it makes me be more in the moment. I'm not the type of person to be on my phone when I hang out with my friends, but this time for sure I'm not gonna be on my phone, because I really want to just enjoy them. Like I have beautiful, like, really creative, smart friends, and I just need to enjoy them. So I've been missing my actual friends, but I've also kind of been looking back at old pictures of old friends and kind of and been like, why did I, why aren't they in my life anymore? Or like, oh, I miss them, like when we would hang out or stuff like this. But this was like 3 years ago. Like this was in high school, So back when I was in actual public high school, um, and I and then I read this book that was talking about that, and it was like, you don't. It's okay to miss people, but you don't necessarily have to hit them up again. You don't necessarily have to talk to them again, because I because they're out of your life for a reason. They're not in your life because of a specific reason. They didn't just leave. Sometimes that does happen, but usually it doesn't for me. Um, just people are out of your life and people are in your life. That's how it goes when you grow up. And I think it's fine. I think it hits me a little bit harder because these are my my school child friends. So it just makes me a little bit more sad about that. But listen, I think it's fine. And I think it's how we grow and how we accept, the past and we move on. I don't think we're gonna get anything from just looking back at old times and being like, oh, I miss that. It's like, well, you can recreate good times now. Like, what is stopping us from recreating good times? I feel like I found myself recreating a lot of good times these couple months by myself, and I think looking back in a couple months later, I'm gonna be like, oh, that was beautiful. I feel like dealing with nostalgia, you're always stuck in the past, but we should always, be looking in the future. And like remembering that we can always make good times. Like there's no one that's going to tell us no, you only get to make good times when you're in your teenage years, like absolutely not. I feel like most of the good times are going to be made in our 20s or maybe in our 30s or 40s or whatever. I think there's going to be good times in around our whole life, but they're just going to change as we grow. um and I think nostalgia is it can be beautiful. It can, being able to reminisce on how you used to be or how you used to act, and looking back now and being like, wow, you know I used to eat Wendy's with my I used to ditch class with my friends in your sophomore year, and we would go to Wendy's and we would get like this 4 for 4, and we would just hang out, and it was so fun. But now, now I remember last summer when I would hang out with my best friend and we would go to downtown and get vegan food and go to an art museum. Like that's very fun and that's very cute. And it's good to be able to reflect on our past and be able to know that hey, we can still build good memories. It's not going to end just because some people leave or you're changed. I feel like we're always going to meet new people, we're always going to meet new places, and we're always going to create new experiences, and that's what creates nostalgia. And nostalgia shouldn't be looked in a negative way because it's something beautiful. It's our brain. It's like core memories. I feel like nostalgia are core memories that we're able to look back and be able to enjoy and be able to be like, you know what, this was nice, like this was good, this this was beautiful. But now look where I am now. Now look at my growth, look at how many maybe you're not even in my life, and that's part of growing and that's part of evolving. So I feel like nostalgia shouldn't be looked as a negative light. And I also feel like we shouldn't always be focused on it. Like they're core memories. Like have you seen In and Out? No, not In and Out. Inside Out. They're core memories and they're always gonna be there. And maybe we can just, choose our nostalgia if it's good or bad. Hopefully it's always good though, because bad nostalgia might be a little bit more sad. But I really enjoy being able to look at pictures. That's why I'm really focused on making pictures, or not making taking pictures, or like taking videos, because I feel like when I'm older, I'm really going to look back at my teenage years and my really really young years, and just look at pictures. And I think that's something that I value, and it's something that I really enjoy, because it's going to create a pretty nostalgia for me. And I feel like if you look back in your nostalgia and you don't see any growth, I feel like, we should really focus on growing, Gorge. But I think I think now that I'm talking about this, I'm not sad anymore. And I think, we can always hit up our current friends. We can always hit them up and be like, hey, like, I really miss you. We should hang out sometime. Or maybe you don't even need to hang out. You can FaceTime, you can text, you can call. Sometimes I've been learning that we're all busy. We're not always going to be available. And that's part of being an adult and that's part of growing. So maybe, I can just text my friends and I can text my current friends and be like, hey, like, I miss you. Like, how are you? I hope you're doing fine. I feel like that will make me feel a lot better, and because you don't know if your friends are also being nostalgic. So yeah, I I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I love nostalgia. I think I learned how to love it. I think we're learning how to love it, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's great, and I think we can learn a lot from it. But I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much.